Good afternoon, friends. Today we will embark on a fascinating journey through the 7 reasons why scientist Cressy Morrison found faith in the existence of God. In this video, we will look at mathematical laws, pervasive intelligence, instincts, human reason, genes, proportions in nature, and the ability to imagine, all the foundations that lead us to understand the divine presence. Every discovery, every observation by Cressy Morrison opens a new path to the realization that our lives are not an accident, but the result of a great mind. Let's explore together these 7 amazing reasons that can change the way you look at the world. Nowadays, humanity is only at the dawn of scientific knowledge. Science is only approaching its dawn, making our mornings brighter. The closer this dawn gets, the more clearly we see the creation of an intelligent creator. Thus, we are getting closer and closer to knowing about the existence of God. This was stated by the chemist Cressy Morrison, who was president of the New York Academy of Sciences in the 40s of the last century. At the end of his life, Cressy Morrison wrote an article titled 7 Reasons Why a Scientist Believes in God. In it, he outlined the reasons that led him to believe in the existence of an intelligent creator. The first foundation is mathematical laws. Based on the indestructible laws of mathematics, it can be proved that our universe was conceived and created by a great mind that did its job like an experienced engineer. In support of this idea, the scientists cited dozens of examples. For example, the Earth rotates around its axis at a stable speed, without accelerating or decelerating. If this rate were to slow down several times, our days and nights would be so long that plants would die from the heat during the day and from the cold at night. It is known that the axis of our planet, around which it rotates, is tilted at an angle of 23 degrees to the vertical. Without this tilt, there would be no change of seasons. In this case, the tides that rise from the ocean would move only from north to south, accumulating water 4 times as much. According to Cressy Morrison, the tides of the oceans would flood the entire land twice a day. These and other examples given by the scientist in his article show that life on Earth is not an accident. The second foundation is pervasive intelligence. How could there be such a skillful combination of sounds, tastes, and smells if nature did not possess intelligence? Nature, which gives fruits a taste and flowers a smell, could she have created something like that? This means that somewhere there must be a source of this all-pervading plan, which has given life to all living things on Earth. That's what Cressy Morrison thought. The third foundation is instincts. It is the pervasive intelligence that has endowed animals with the instincts, without which they would be helpless creatures. So salmon is born in a river, but then swims away into the sea to later return to their native river to spawn. What kind of force is leading him with such precision back to where he started his journey? No less mysterious is the behavior of the eel, which, having reached maturity, returns from the depths of the ocean to its origins. Even more surprising is the story of the wasp, which, before laying its larvae, stings the grasshopper in a precisely defined place, paralyzing the insect. The grasshopper is preserved and becomes food for the wasp's future offspring. After completing this work, the mother wasp dies. She never sees her cubs. All this happens without any training, and she does everything exactly as needed. This cannot be explained by the fact that wasps teach each other. It's all embedded in their flesh and blood. The fourth foundation is the human mind. Man has something more than an animal instinct. We have reason, thanks to which, for example, we can count, which no animal can do. Let's compare instinct with a single flute sound. Of course, it will be a wonderful sound, but the human mind is able to perceive not only all the notes of this musical instrument, but also the sounds of an entire orchestra. Due to the fact that we have intelligence, we can reason about who we are, what is the meaning of our existence. But would this be possible if we didn't have a spark of universal intelligence embedded in us? Cressy Morrison was speaking. The fifth foundation is genes. The presence of genes indicates that a blueprint has been issued for all living things in our world, according to which every living organism builds itself. Isn't this proof that someone took care of us? Despite the importance of genes, their size is small. All of them together could fit into a thimble. Nevertheless, it is the smallest unit of heredity, that guides the life of all living things on Earth, noted Cressy Morrison. The sixth foundation is proportions in nature. Morrison drew attention to the fact that in nature, all the relationships are thought out, which, according to the scientist, is possible only to a perfect mind. Once upon a time in Australia, a species of cactus was planted as a protective fence, which had not previously grown in this area. Later, it turned out that this species of cactus in Australia has no enemies, no insects that would eat them. For this reason, the hedge began to spread so quickly that it began to displace people and villages. Australian entomologists were faced with the question of which insect could help people defeat this prickly invader. The right insect was found and imported, and this measure helped to control the growth of cacti. Such controlling relationships are observed everywhere. Let's think about why, for example, insects, which multiply so rapidly, have not suppressed all living things. This is because they do not breathe with their lungs, but with their trachea. When an insect grows up, the trachea does not increase in proportion to its body. This discrepancy holds back their growth. If it were not for this physical control, man could not exist on Earth. Imagine meeting a hornet the size of a wolf. The seventh foundation is the ability to imagine. Cressy Morrison believed that the idea of God arose in man due to the ability to imagine, and only with the help of imagination can a person comprehend the highest truly spiritual reality. For example, the idea that the universal mind lives everywhere and in everything. This mind lives in our hearts. The more we feel this presence within ourselves, the stronger our need to observe moral principles, and the stronger our faith in God, concluded Cressy Morrison. Thus, Cressy Morrison, through his research and reflection, paved the way for a deeper understanding of our universe and the role that an intelligent creator could play in its creation. Each of these foundations, whether mathematical laws, instincts, genes, or the ability to imagine, indicates that our world is not random. It is full of harmony, intelligence, and amazing interconnections that cannot be explained solely by natural processes. Exploring nature and its laws, Cressy Morrison came to the conclusion that the existence of God is not only possible, but also practically inevitable. He saw in these discoveries not just a confirmation of his faith, but also a call for each of us to reflect on a higher spiritual aspect of life. Faith in God, in his opinion, is not a blind dogma, but a reasonable conclusion based on observations and scientific facts that reveal to us a grandiose picture of the world in which everything is connected and aimed at the benefit of life. It is in these searches, in an effort to understand what lies beyond our perception, that we begin to realize the depth and significance of our existence. Faith in God is not only questions, but also answers that lie in the very structure of nature, in the wonders that surround us every day. Dear friends, thank you for watching my video to the end. If you liked it, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's very important. Thank you, and have a nice day.